everybody. I know it has been quite a bit since I've made a video. Yeah, you know, I went on Warped Tour. I was the healer of Warped Tour, which honestly, it was a life-changing experience. It was very organic. I got to heal and read some of my favorite musicians organically. You know, it really puts you to the test when you're in a situation like that. And it's like sink or swim. It's like show what you got, or just, you know, one of my biggest fears has always been reading men, because men, their energy is just always a little more like scrutiny behind it, or you could feel from them where they're like, yeah, this is bullshit, yeah, this is bullshit. And it proved itself. I read mostly men and it was an amazing experience. But anyway, so I've been talking a lot on Instagram, if you follow me, about, you know, the sociopath and the empath, and it's something that I have talked about for most of the time that I've been doing this energy work, or in a lot of my videos. And back in, I think, 2013, I made a video on the sociopath and the empath, and it comes from a place of somebody that is still hurt, isn't fully healed, and is still a little afraid. 2017, Alex does not give a fuck. You know, I had to go through a lot of trial and error. It was really difficult, because when your mind is so abused and you're so mentally drained, and you have someone telling you who you should be, you know, telling you you're not good enough for love, no one's gonna ever love you like I do. It puts you in the place where you put yourself and you're like, wow, you know, maybe this person was right. Maybe no one will love me. Maybe I'm not meant for love. Maybe no one will ever love me again. Did I fuck up? Like, and you know, that's just another way that they control you emotionally and spiritually and physically. And it's very trying and it's very draining on the empath soul, because like I had said in my old video, the empath is somebody that generally comes from a home that isn't perfect. They become a people pleaser, they become codependent, and they are deeply insecure. They can feel the energy and emotions and feelings of other people, and they don't want to let them down. So what they do is they do everything they can to please other people while putting themselves on the back burner. Now, the sociopath, who has zero compassion, only sees control. I mean, scientifically, for the women I've read that are like, maybe if I loved him a little more, maybe if I, no, honey, no, there was nothing you could have done, because they have no moral compass. All they see is control. There is a part of their brain that never developed, and all they see is control, greed, ego, and most of the time you will see somebody that starts off as one person, you see them become a contradictive representation of everything that they are not. You will see that their words do not match their actions. You will see, a lot of the times what I experienced was somebody that was just internet cool, and they just wanted that internet power over people. They didn't actually have the morals that they had expressed on the internet to people, but you'll notice these people easily get an audience because they have the power of persuasion, and they know how to play the victim card, they know how to play their role, and they use sympathy a lot of the time for power. So, basic comprehension, what the sociopath does is they sniff out the empath. It's like moth to a flame. They know, they see somebody that is just so eager but insecure, and they could sniff it out so easy, and they make you think that you're in this dream euphoric state. Oh my god, someone finally loves me. They draw out all of your insecurities from you, and they're basically wanting to know everything to encourage you about, later to make you fall about. You'll start to notice abuse, and it'll be very confusing, because you'll be like, well, why is this person doing this to me? It must be something I'm doing wrong. So they want you to essentially believe that it's all you, so you become even more people pleaser, and they basically latch onto your soul. So what I had discovered about the empath and sociopathic relationship is, when I was leaving, or when his energy was just so hard on me, I went into almost kidney failure. And, you know, later, downloading years later, that your body, the metaphysical body, is giving you UTIs, giving you this is the number one thing I say to women, that when I think that they're in an abusive relationship with a sociopath, I go, so how many UTIs, how many bladder infections have you had? And it's because your emotional body, your energy sensitive body is literally saying, one, I'm pissed off. Two, it's saying, I'm trying to protect us. Like, stop putting this person's energy in us. It's hurting us, it's hurting us, it's hurting us. And then that goes to a place where their energy is so integrated into your sacral chakra, into your root chakra, that they literally are robbing you of your soul. Like, they are taking soul fragments from you. They are stealing your soul, and that's their supply. Like, that's their narcissistic, sociopathic supply. They need that. Like, that is what they need, and they will do anything they can to make you, even to the last ounce of you, make you do things for them, make you serve them, make you worship them, because they need their supply. You are their supply. And then when they feel that there is nothing left for you to give, they've been cheating on you the whole time, just so you know. But when there's nothing left of you, they'll discard you like you meant nothing. And then where do you go from there? You feel like somebody that has just been in a car accident. You have no idea what happened, and you're waking up at the hospital like, what the fuck just happened to me? You have no idea who you are without this person. You have no idea who you are without this person telling you what to do. You become even more paranoid. You seek even more confirmation from people, and people giving you affirmations, because you have now just lived your life with somebody that was telling you how to feel, telling you what to do, telling you how you are supposed to feel. And like, even in working in the music industry, and even in like all the healing that I do with women, I see exactly how they line it up. A lot of the times, the weaker sociopath that doesn't have power will find a woman that has some type of power. They will use them until they are done, and then they will discard them, because they will use anybody that they can in order to get ahead. There's different variations of what the sociopath does. Like mine was internet famous tattooer, and found just an innocent little empathic tattooer in Jersey. And you know, I have horror stories for days, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about how I got through it. We're here to talk about how you can grow and you can rise. So the second part of my life after I made these videos, I really dove into it. I was like, all right, I've learned a lot. I've become who I was meant to be because of this person. Like, because of the heartbreak he even did to me. Well, I wouldn't even call it heartbreak. I call it Stockholm Syndrome. I call it, you know, I was robbed of who I was supposed to be as a person. I call it, I was just so abused that I couldn't even function in a normal life. I was lost. I wanted to die. And then I felt it. All right, if you're not going to live for you, live for what you could do for humanity. Live for what you could do for people. And I was a silent medium. And I say this in the last video as well, so I didn't tell anybody that I was able to communicate with those who are departed. I didn't tell anybody that I was able to do these things or I had this capability, and he would rise me up in it and then make me fall on it and tell me I was crazy. He told me I made it all up. He told me that he was there to help me because I was mentally sick, and he was the only person that would ever deal with me because he was really a star seed, and he really knew what was going on. I remember one time, it was during like the end of 2012, and when everyone thought the end of the world was gonna happen, and him and I had been speaking about it, and he looked at me as if he was some enchanted magical being. And there was that thing where it was like, oh, the rapture, where people are gonna rise up there or go down there. And he was like, he closed his eyes and he was like, don't worry, I told him I'm gonna stay with you because I know you need me to survive. And that was a little fucking weird to me. It was like, but he tried to reign supreme over my gifts. And that's basically, that was a part of the psychological abuse and the psychological manipulation. So, second part into what I have been going into, because ironically around the time, my best friend was also a sociopath. My first Reiki student was a sociopath who later on in life used what I taught her to mentally abuse weaker women. It's funny that I grew up as an empath and I had no sense of who I was, and all I did was want acceptance from people. Where did I wind up? My whole life was a lie. Everything in my life was a lie, and I'm sitting there thinking I'm in the best place in my life, living with integrity, thinking that these people actually love me for what I could do. They did not give a shit about what I could do, just what they could get from me. So, leaving that all behind, I realized that there was a lot of healing that had to be done. I had to go back to the beginning. I had to go back to the start. But I had realized as I was empowering myself, as I was healing from what these people did to me, I was becoming who I was meant to be. So then that led me to the belief of, in time out of body, we do set these people up. Are these people a soulmate of ours? Are they meant to come into our lives to give us some type of profound change? Because that is what a sociopath is. And absolutely, they are meant to come into our lives to make us and shape us. Not in the way that they think they are, because they think that they're controlling us. But we rise above it, we get away from it. But they are the very basis of showing us all of our weaknesses, showing us where negative energy can get us, showing us our insecurities, showing us how we look to acceptance for others and we don't accept ourselves. They are the very mirror and image of everything we as empaths or sensitives have to work on within ourselves. It's showing you that you need to get away from that abuse, and you can. Trust me, I am proof you can. You need to get away from it, and then you allow yourself that period of, why did this happen? How could this happen to me? And you're allowed to be in that victimization for a little bit. Then you have to get past that victim role, because I was in it for a very long time. I was like, I'm so healed and I'm doing this. I was still a victim of how could this happen to me? And that is an empath loophole. We will accidentally put ourselves in the victim mentality because we're like, this person still did this to me and we need our pain validated. I remember for quite some time, I just, you just want something bad to happen to them. And I realized that was an ego loophole, because it was like, I got more from this person than this person will ever receive in a lifetime. I found me because I was so stripped bare of who my insecurity as a child and my empathic skills brought me to be and who I believed I was. I thought I was just somebody that the only thing that I wanted was love, and why couldn't someone love me? And I was afraid to make female friends at this point, because I was like, do they actually like me, or are they going behind my back as I'm teaching them something so sacred like Reiki and telling people all these awful things about me? Like, that's not of the light, man. Like, it makes you feel really afraid of everything that you feel is normal. But my biggest piece of advice is really taking it into consideration that, like, you wanted this. In time out of body, you chose this. Like, you knew that as the empath, in order to awaken and discover who you are, who you're meant to be, who your soul actually is, you knew that you needed to be so stripped down bare of who you thought you were. And then you realize you don't want to live your life that way anymore. You realize that is not who you are. You realize that is not who you are meant to be. The sociopath, you will never change. You will never get this person to love you. You will never get this person to be good to you. They will bank in on your insecurities. They will bank in on their childhood. They will bank in on every which way, and they helped you. It'll always be them. Always remember that. I did this for you, and I did this for you. Now look at yourself. Is that really love? I don't think so. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to have someone tell you you're beautiful and actually encourage your accomplishments, not make you feel like they did everything for you and you didn't even ask for that. But look at what happened. You were an empath or a sensitive, and you believed that you needed acceptance from somebody else. So what did they do to you? They made you become somebody that you didn't even have control of your life. They made you into somebody that couldn't control anything, and they had to do everything for you. But if you really think about it, you were mirroring that. You were the mirror for that, and you needed that to wake up. You needed that to show yourself, no, I'm not going to be somebody where someone tells me what I am. I'm not going to be somebody that people tell me who I'm supposed to be or how I'm supposed to feel, because I know that was abuse. I know I didn't deserve it, but I know that I got a hell of a lesson from it. I know that I became so empowered and so strong from it that I will never let something like that happen to me again. The reason the empath, and most of us will always say, I knew something was off, but I didn't know what. They say that you can only see in somebody what you see in yourself. So if you're a sensitive and you're an empath and you have a really good heart, how the fuck are you gonna see that in somebody? Don't you dare feel stupid. Don't you dare feel like you should have knew better or you should have been wiser, because this is where you get to learn that. This is where you get to take your life back. This is where you get to say, I choose my life. This is where you get to say, no one is ever going to abuse me again. No one is ever going to take my life from me and tell me who I'm supposed to be and give me a bedtime, because yeah, I had a bedtime. I was a very weak, insecure girl. I had no idea who I was, and you know, I've grown past it, and I've grown to love myself, because the me that I have is the me that I love, and I wouldn't change that for the world. I think every empath, every girl, every person out there that has ever been a victim of these people's abuse, you need to really look in the mirror and look at how far you've come, what you've learned, how you will never let someone pull anything on you again, how you will empower yourself every day, how you will choose you every day, and you will never let someone pull a wool over your eyes again, because now you are an empowered empath. Now it's time for you to start the spiritual journey. Now it's time for you to dive so far into discovering your soul, learning Reiki, learning sound healing, massage therapy school, anything that has to do with awakening. Now is the time when you find out who you really are, because you needed this traumatic pain to help you awaken. You needed this pain to get you to who you are, who you want to be. And that is nothing to ever be ashamed of. The sociopath was a gift, and you do not forgive until you truly feel that forgiveness in your heart and you find yourself, because otherwise it's just a lie. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to feel like someone really ripped your heart out and destroyed you, because they did. But guess what? You get to put it back together. Keeping this video a little short just because I have some more stuff in the works, but it's never too late to start healing from this stuff. You never accept what this person has made you feel, because it was all a lie. And now you get to decide your truth. Hope you have the best day, and happy healing.